Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Cyclone here. I'm a little bit sick, so I apologize if my voice sounds funny. But I wanted to talk about Chrollo versus Hisoka Part 2. We're in hiatus, and I feel like uploading some content while we await future manga chapters. I know that there are people who watch this channel for the live reactions that I do, and my buddy does. And while we wait for the chapters, I thought I would make this discussion video because I have seen posts on this pop up from time to time, and it's a couple of points here. Number one, Chrollo and Hisoka from a power basis, the first fight they had, and then where it would go if they had a rematch. Now, I actually don't know if Hisoka is even getting to Chrollo. In my opinion, Chrollo is going to get sabotaged by Illumi or this succession war. And I don't know how exactly, but I feel like Hisoka is actually going to put Chrollo into a trap. And then he's going to take him on. Because remember, this time, Hisoka doesn't care about the rules. He wants to kill the spider. Any means necessary on his terms. This isn't about a death match. This is about assassinating them. So that's all that Hisoka cares about. Now, if we're looking at the characters from the first fight, Chrollo beat Hisoka. That's a fact. It's also a fact that Hisoka let Chrollo pick all of the conditions for the fight. Home field advantage, as to say. So, Chrollo picked Heaven's Arena. Chrollo picked a packed stadium. And Chrollo picked all of the abilities perfectly suited for that encounter. Duplication abilities, explosive puppets, mind control, using voice commands on a PA system where he can hide in a crowd of thousands of people. That's what Chrollo did. And he did it because he wanted to kill Hisoka. And he technically did. He technically got what he wanted. Hisoka let him set up that fight the way he wanted, and he then enacted upon it. And the strategy worked. Hisoka got outnumbered hundreds of puppets to one. Hisoka had to fight off waves and waves of minions, horde mode basically. And by that point, he got blasted a couple times, lost some digits on his hand, lost a foot. His aura was getting drained from having to use so much gum, because remember, Hisoka had to use gum several times in the fight to sling the heads of puppets around. He did the hammer ability. He was doing the propeller attack where he was just basically chopping everything up with gum. And as we saw in the series, Hisoka never showcased a large amount of endurance for a prolonged period. Hisoka was a type of character who would use his powers in a clever way. So, one string of gum, two strings of gum. In this fight, he used like 5, 6 at a time. He used gum on the ground. He used his whole hand with gum strings and just blasted people's heads off with it. That shows a lot of potential, but it also shows that Hisoka's powers are not designed for a long, multifaceted encounter. They are designed for a one-on-one scenario, and they are designed to kill somebody. Or at least trick them. Now, we get to Hisoka reenacting himself with his desire to live, his nen, becoming basically a breathing apparatus. And his sheer willpower to crush the Phantom Troop. Now, this willpower and that last panel on 357, those eyes just tell you the whole story. 10 more to go. This guy is possessed with killing the troop. So much so that a lot of us theorize, and I'm on this boat, that Hisoka's nen is now more powerful in the sense that it is going to respond more to his willpower. If Hisoka needs to make more nen gum, then it'll let him. It's going to increase his ability to fight. And possibly it's going to increase his ability to produce more and more gum and increase his endurance. These are all possibilities. I can't tell you if that's true, but I feel like his willpower and his desire is so strong that his Nen is only responding with more responsiveness and more power as a whole. So now we're on this boat. And again, I have doubts that they're going to fight again on a one-on-one basis. I think it's going to be more of an assassination. But let's just theorize. Let's just say that Hisoka was able to get to Chrollo on the boat for round 2. We know that Hisoka is going to try and ambush Chrollo. But Chrollo right now, I believe, is with Shizuku and Bonolanov. I'll have to go review that. He's with some of the troop members right now. But that's not to say that he will at one point get separated. Or the other two will get killed off. In my opinion, I would love it if the troop got involved in the Mafia wars. Because troop and Mafia are great together. They make a great story, great history. And then, in the chaos, Luini opens a portal to floor 1 and the troop goes to floor 1 and that's when the real war starts. That's what I would really love. But let's just say Hisoka gets to Chrollo before that happens. And if I had to guess, I would say that Hisoka's going to try and find Chrollo in an isolated area. So we've seen a couple of isolated areas on the boat. There are some secure locations where the Kaki military are. There are some non-civilian zones. There are judicial areas. There are huge storage rooms where people can get locked in the room. I mean, there's several places where a fight could happen. But if Hisoka's going to try and ambush Chrollo, it has to be when he's vulnerable. And I think Chrollo is going to be vulnerable when he loses the rest of his spiders. I don't think Chrollo is going to get targeted until the other troop members start to fall. So you got Shizuku, a big target on her neck. You have Franklin. You have even Machi, who might be the one to die before Chrollo to set off that fight. Maybe Machi's going to run and warn Chrollo, oh shit, Hisoka's here, and then Hisoka cuts her head off and says, I'm here, motherfucker. And that's what Hisoka's going to do. That scene would be hype. Hype as hell, Savage motherfucker. But he's so possessed. I feel like Chrollo, he's showing a little bit of weakness in this arc because of the loss of his brothers. And while you may say that that's going to make Chrollo more dangerous, I'm not sure, because maybe Chrollo is now more vulnerable. We know that he can no longer use Neon's fortune-telling ability because someone killed her, probably Hisoka, or Illumi. Again, Illumi could have been sent to go kill Neon Nostrad. Remember, he killed the mob before. Now he's on the boat. See, these all could be connected. Now you have Hisoka, absolutely bloodlusted and enraged. We know Hisoka with bloodlust is almost unstoppable. But you have Chrollo, who's wallowing in despair as his legs are being torn off. And he is finding himself more and more isolated. Now, we don't know if Chrollo is going to plan for this and have additional special abilities in his book that benefit from the chaos. Maybe he has an ability that feeds off of death. We've been seeing a lot of references to dying and death in the current arc and how Nen is attached to death itself. Resurrection abilities, Camilla, and the whole Kakin burial tradition, and Hisoka's basically resurrection. I feel like that's a theme coming with this arc. A lot of Nen resurrections are happening. And that whole idea that Nen with death is extremely capable and dangerous. So, Chrollo may have an ability that benefits from the loss of his limbs. And it might be an ability that is like a last resort type of thing. But I think Hisoka is going to corner Chrollo. I think he is. If Togashi wants to give us round 2, Chrollo's going to be crippled by something, whether it be the loss of his limbs, whether it be his book abilities being disabled, or somehow, he's put into Zetsu, Karapika. I mean, my goodness. And we know that Hisoka can kill Chrollo if it's a close combat scenario. We kind of saw this in the fight of round 1, where once Hisoka used the bungee gum on the human head, Chrollo ran away. When he got hit twice by the head, he took some damage. He was like, "Oh shit, I can't stay around this guy." So he threw a bunch of puppets in the way and got the fuck out of there, and then started making more duplicates and the voice command and all that stuff. But he was not about to just stand around and fight Hisoka one-on-one, fist to fist. He got the fuck out of there. That's what people have to understand. Chrollo, in a cornered situation, is at a disadvantage. Hisoka is more dangerous up close, especially bloodlusted Hisoka. That's what I think. So, is Chrollo going to benefit from the chaos of the war? I think he's actually going to be crippled. I think Illumi is going to benefit greatly from this, and maybe even take control of some of the Phantom Troop members who, with their powers, if you think about it, could cause severe problem for Chrollo. If they're under Illumi's control, there's absolutely no way they could lend power to Chrollo in the book. But, in my opinion, I feel like Illumi is the wild card that's going to help Hisoka cripple Chrollo before he gets to him. And then Hisoka will kill him. And then probably die from his own, state of being. And the two of them die together on this hellhole of a ship. And then Serenich fucking, unleashes hell. And then that's when the real Kakin War starts. I mean, there's so many avenues. But again, this video was more of an open-ended discussion about two very prominent characters in the story right now who have had conflict, big fan base between for each character. I love both characters. I just I don't like the argument of people saying Chrollo is stronger than Hisoka. I think Chrollo is more versatile, but in the right circumstance, Hisoka will corner him, and that's where you gotta. It's all about the setting. It's all about the location and the setting. That's the whole point of why Hisoka's doing it on his terms. So I feel like that's going to play a part in Chrollo's demise. He's going to get cornered. He's going to get crippled. Something's going to hurt him in the long run, even though he has a book full of abilities. It's going to be crazy. To spare Chrollo, who snaps versus Bloodlust Hisoka, without all the freaking puppets, just the two of them, I'd pay good money to see that fight. I can't wait. I hope it happens within the next decade, Anyway, guys, Cyclone signing out. I will see you on the next Hunter x Hunter video.